Salut. C'est nous. Mo's not ready, as usual.
That was the thing I was saying. The Sixers go for Kawhi and LeBron.
Yeah. That's what I told you.
I don't know about that.
No.
Yes,
Check
I
your Facebook
told you
messages.
that.
Nope.
Yes, I said that to you.
There was one night where I got all hard on their just looking at their salary table.
I told you that. They trade for Kawhi. They get LeBron. They get rid of Sarah
Don't forget about Chris
Covington,
Paul, huh?
Fultz, and the first rounder for Kawhi.
If he takes an MLE.
Chris Paul can join us. Anyway, welcome back to
Paul
Calling
George,
Audible.
maybe.
Division C podcast. Now it's Simon, Peeze, GM, and Eagle. As we try to forecast where LeBron will go in a month's time. All right, so let's talk about the week that was in Division C, gentlemen. What caught your attention from this week's action?
Hey, Brocation beats Top Season.
Upset.
Oh, big time.
I was there for that game,
Big
as
time.
you were. It was not a good game for Top Season.
No. We're going to have our friend Andel, captain of Top Season, later on in the show.
Yes, and
So we'll talk about that game a bit more. But Brocation, big win for them.
well, I thought they played well in the sense that they weren't scared off. I think Top Season, what they do so well is that their speed, and they can just literally outthink you. They can just physically intimidate you, mentally intimidate you. And Brocation didn't step back from them. They play them play for play. And I thought Jared Ted did not play his best game yesterday. I thought he was a little bit ordinary. Got sacked a few times.
You had a good game
And
after that, though.
They did, yeah, of course, but that doesn't count for this game. But I didn't think they had the big play explosion that they did in weeks past, and that cost them. And their
Is that a good
defense
thing, though?
couldn't answer. Well, look, they're a good team. I just think that this is probably.
is it a good team to get that out of your system?
Yeah, that's what I
now
think it
and-
is. Yeah, it's better now, right? So you want to get it out of the way, but this is in no way indicative of this team falling apart. I think they're still the team to beat in this division,
sure.
100%.
It's to me that's a fluke. I think
The fluke that Brocation won, or the fluke that Top Season
Top
played?
Season didn't play well.
Right.
I think Brocation is a better team than people give them credit for, but they're not a top dog contender. Although adding Jeremy Anderson really helps them.
Yeah.
He's that he plays the same sort of role Kyle Lebowski used to.
Safety hands.
Yeah, he's a great player, and he's going to be a dominant piece on Brocation. I still don't think that team is going to be a championship team, but prove me wrong.
I was there for the Blue Chips Moist game.
Oh, boy.
So in the first half,
Moist.
Moist was up 18-0.
Before PC, hold on. Can we
Mm.
get a camera on GM's face because it is saying it all? Carry on.
18-0.
So I will give credit for a moment to GM, because for a moment he was rushing Jordan Mitchell, and looked very good.
It was also my third game of the night.
Yeah, and no, and it's like you were breaking down and making him make a decision,
Don't you guys have a
and
rusher,
it
though?
really affected.
We
like
were
it really,
sixth that game, by the
Yeah,
way.
but don't you have like all the Famer Division 1 rusher on that team?
Who has a fractured
yeah,
foot?
he's a fractured ankle.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So
Oh, that changes things.
You
So
got
the
against,
so like
Braves.
Jordan Mitchell was like, for a while was panicking because GM would break down like 7 yards in front of him, and he would just like he wouldn't know what to do. Then in the second half, Jordan Mitchell's like, "Oh, I'm faster than this guy," and oh my god, GM, dude, like you went from like, "Oh, GM's doing a good job" to like, "Oh yeah, no, he can't rush Jordan Mitchell. He can't do that no more. Save him, somebody save GM."
We
Columbus."
had no subs.
I know, it was so bad. And like, thing is, like, it really worked. It really worked. And then, like, a light went off in Jordan Mitchell's head, and he's like, "No, it's done." And he took it back.
Somebody grabbed him by like the shirts, like, "Buddy, just run." Okay.
Have you seen this guy? He
Um,
takes one step and you've taken 5.
Oh yeah.
I will say, like, also the scoreline, like, so Matt Kerouac had a very good first 2 drives. The third drive, he just put a ball up and kind of got lucky that his receiver bailed him
Yeah,
out.
Giuliani.
Yeah, exactly. And thing is that like I think Matt, part of the reason Moist lost the game was Matt Kerouac's new and didn't properly manage the game in the second half. He seemed to panic when Moist was leading and
Well, you're up 18-0. You should not give them 4.
no, but
possessions.
as Blue Chips were coming back, Matt Kerouac started to panic and he gave them too much time to come back into the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's one of those things that you don't think about when you're a player in FPF, but when you start playing quarterback, you realize, oh, I really need to manage time.
That's what I'm saying. If you're up 18-0, don't give them 4 possessions.
Yeah.
Find a way to kill so much clock that they'll get 2-3 possessions in the second half, and you cannot lose it.
But here's the thing, though, right? Blue Chips last 2 games have not been what they were on their winning streak that they had. I think was it you, Eagle, or was it you, GM, that pointed out they had a 17 game
Eagle
winning
had
streak?
pointed it
Eagle,
out,
you made that
Yeah,
point, right?
17 winning streak before they got their first.
So have they
loss.
been, and I'll ask you, GM, because you played them firsthand, is there some sort of game plan that is now a general thing to apply against this team that might have issues?
So not credit where credit is due, but just sort of like keeping in mind, first of all, Jordan Mitchell showed up like right in time, had no time to warm up. So that'll throw you off a little bit. And to Pease's point about the adjustments, there were at least 2 or 3 adjustments that Blue Chips made in the second half. And I think they just need to think to make them sooner. Like when things stop going their way, I think they need to identify quicker what it is.
One thing I noticed was Moist early on was doing a great job, like cutting off the first read in the short routes, and then in the second half, Jordan Mitchell was layering like 10-yard outs over them, and so guys were jumping from the corners, and he was
Can't see him.
completing passes over their head. And that's the thing that killed the game at the end was you guys were obviously trying to make a play, get a pick to get the ball back, and then he just was completing passes over defenders.
You like Bones, huh, Eagle?
Oh boy,
You got a lot of time in your hands. Backyard Bullies hammering Vikings 36-14.
Vikings on a bad streak.
The bottom has fallen off of this team here.
They're on a bad streak. There's a lot of I'll go with bitching around. Everybody's pointing fingers on that.
The goodwill that was generated for the last couple of years of them having one of the better defenses in the lower divisions has the straw's broken the camel's back. They cannot produce any points on offense here, and it's put more strain on the defense to make plays, and they can't do it anymore. And Backyard Bullies was head and shoulders above this team and outclassed them in all phases.
Who do you think has it worse, these Vikings or the medieval Vikings?
Ooh, I think
So-
these Vikings.
It's not the same time period,
No.
and they're not related to medieval history at all.
You might as well include like NFL Vikings into that
Yeah,
as well,
it's
right?
true.
Like,
So who had it worse in the medieval times, the NFL Vikings or the Vikings? Neither. Awesome.
But I just think that
But the thing is, like, and it's a point I've made in past seasons. If this receiving core is Nick Gendron Valet, Philip Cotrobati, and now Marc-André Lapointe, and they had a real quarterback, it's the best team in
Maybe
division.
Simone Dagenet.
It's the best. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
for
With,
sure.
with those types of receivers, especially,
No, but
it's a very, very good team.
so what I've noticed is they're trying to do something that works in FPF, but doesn't work for them. And that's the problem. Is you find what works for you, not necessarily what works as like
But
a general
you know what they
term.
remind me
Are you
of?
going to be less generic at any point, or
Okay, so you're telling a
you.
guy
say something?
hit a seam at 12 yards.
Mm-hmm.
If your quarterback doesn't have the release or the arm strength to do it, don't attempt it because that's an interception. Change your play calling to something
Yeah.
that works for you.
But this team
That's-
reminds me of.
Don't put it up if you're not accurate 20 yards on the field.
They remind me of, and to go a little bit old school here, the Baltimore Ravens team that won the Super Bowl in 2000. Strong defense, right? But their offense is just a piece of crap. And
Yes.
if you can get them 20 points, they'll win you a football game.
I think
Oh,
they're
Trent Dilfer's coming for you.
Seahawks
Oh, yeah.
legend.
He
Trent
wants your
Dilfer.
beautiful hair.
Niners backup quarterback legend.
He
Trent
wants to
Dilfer.
beat you to death.
But that's the thing, though, right? Like they just don't have. And you made a great point, Peace, that if you put Jean-Claude Valet with Corbaci and Lapointe as receivers, and Simone
Well,
Dagenet as
so
quarterback,
like there was a season where Nick Gendron Valet and Marc-André Lapointe were receivers for Darksiders, who went 9-1 in Division B. So I mean, now down a division with the same guys, all of a sudden, not having a quarterback who can get them the ball.
Well, Nick Shyamalan is not a bad quarterback. Like I said, I think he has a system that works for him. They just need to trust him that he's making the right calls and not force him into something that he's not comfortable doing.
All right.
And then there's the problem with the defense that I don't think they could solve. I think they're playing out of their depth.
All right. We'll dive into topics because we have Andel Gordon Thomas coming out with us soon. The Bearskins spoke to them before their victory, and they weren't happy they weren't part of the top 5
Cool.
of your power rankings last week.
Cool. Try not to tie a terrible.
So,
omelet
are
you
you-
finish.
Power rankings?
No.
Well, top 5 what we had, right? when
I don't
asked
remember
you.
that. I don't remember doing.
They can't even beat us, and they want to be part of the top 5.
Who's this?
Bearskins.
Bearskins. So what do you have this
Hey,
team?
Vinny.
What do you have this team ranked in terms of the overall landscape? Are they a legitimate threat, or are you still not?
They are
buying?
now. When we played them week 1, honestly, To me, that was a fluke game.
It's still a one-man show, though, right? Like the
No, it's
10th
not
best
anymore.
receiver in Division C,
not
Vinny
anymore.
Galano, has 14 touchdowns.
Marco Bertoldi is still on the
Which
team.
would probably be more than half the teams have scored total offensive points of 98.
14 is not bad. No, I think Mark Belder is getting that chemistry with Marco Bertoldi, Guillaume Barassa. He's not there yet, and Vinny Galano is his blanket because pretty much anybody could use Vinny.
Also, he looks comfy.
I know, right?
Who?
Vinny Galano.
Well, he's definitely outclassed the competition.
Remember that season when he was doing yoga in silence?
Yeah.
It looks comfy.
To be fair, she was hot.
It's true.
Is he still going out there?
No, different
That
girl.
was
Oh, boy.
forever.
Also hot.
So one game I
Vinny.
want to talk about before
get
we
you.
switch. Jägerbomb destroyed Keyport Lock. How does a team
Okay,
get
so I was
4
there.
pick sixes?
I was there.
They're good.
Yes, but also there are games where Jeff Rosenblatt looks amazing, and then there's games, dude. There were balls he was throwing where the closest receiver was the ground. Not just when the ball hit the ground, but when the ball was in the air, the closest receiver was the ground. He just was not himself. They were missing Raul Barudi in this game,
But I mean,
which hurt
And he's
them.
good for them.
but I mean,
Very good.
6 picks, 4 pick sixes.
It was bad. It was and
That's
like
next
so
level
like
bad.
you know like when a receiver's coming across on a route because he runs a lot of crossing routes. So receivers crossing over the middle of the field,
Mm-hmm.
you need to read where the backside defender is.
Okay.
He was not reading that, and the backside defender was always intercepting the ball. Oh, like it's like he was shocked that there was defensive players that were moving and they weren't just static pylons on the field.
Jets.
Yeah, but that's still that's a shocker score.
Yes.
39-0.
And with the pick sixes help make it 39-0.
Yeah,
Good
but
defense, Jägerbomb.
Yeah.
They have had a huge plus in the turnover ratio this season. They've come up with some big plays here. Jen, speaking of Jägerbomb, them and Commissioner are undefeated. They'll play each other in 2 weeks. Do you think they'll be clinching a playoff spot by week 6 here?
Yes.
Because the way it is, they are running away from everyone else, and they
Yes.
can have
So not
spot.
Mathematically,
Mathematically they can.
yes, yeah.
but they won't clinch
At
it.
6-0, they can.
But they won't though, because what's going to happen is that. So let's call it a soft clinch. A lot of soft and hard talk this week, but it's a soft shell taco.
taco.
And the reason why is
Actually,
so a lot of the lower tier teams are playing against each other. So some teams will pad their win-loss victory. So like at the time when they're at 6 wins, some teams will have 2 or 3. So it won't be mathematically
Okay,
clinched at 6.
So mathematically, if 8 out of 11 teams make the playoffs, at
Mhm.
6 wins you're in.
Maybe
'Cause
not
there's not enough wins to go around.
Commissioner played Montagnard
Not-
and Jägerbomb.
Not
played
if
Moist this
not
week.
if all those teams have 2 wins though. Because if they're at 2 wins, they can still get to 6, and you're at 6.
But remember,
Not if they play each
remember the
other.
head-to-head. Yeah, the tiebreaker.
There's not enough
But
games to go
the
around.
tiebreaker won't be head-to-head if it's a 3-way tie.
No, there's not enough games to go around for all these 2-win teams to get to 6.
There is enough games.
Because if they play each other, only one of them can win.
So the thing is, again, I drew it up mathematically on Excel. There's a couple of scenarios where they don't automatically clinch by winning
But
6
it
games.
started with, do you think?
Yeah, and I'm saying I don't think it'll be mathematically clinched.
So
I think, like, for all intents and purposes, they will make the playoffs once they win 6 games.
Okay, we know
But
that.
it won't be mathematically clinched.
So let's forecast in 2 weeks' time. Whoever wins this, do you think one of the teams will be still
Numbers
undefeated, or do you think they'll
radio.
lose next week?
Who's buying? So
Commission
are we
Montagnard?
betting- Are we betting beers
sure,
on whether or not to be clinched?
sure.
All right, that week.
That's the team that makes 6-0 makes the playoffs. If that
No. That clinches that week in week 6.
Okay.
All right,
So
case of beer. Maybe you don't need a case of beer. Sorry, Mo. Your question.
but do you think that, in hindsight, the longer perspective here, they're the 2 best teams in this division?
No.
Where's Alpha T's on your list?
Yeah.
Because
Whereas
they're the best team in the division.
I'm
in that
Jesse
conference,
Dupes, baby.
in that
yeah,
conference,
I'm gonna
maybe.
say conference.
Top Citizens
yes.
also on that short list. In the conference, yeah. In the division, calm yourself there.
I'll say this though, top season blue chips, they're no pushovers, man. But it's gonna be a really
Also, Commission, who did they play though?
well. Their offense is not that great. They're really hyping themselves
No,
up.
I'm saying they
Yes and
haven't
no.
played
I will
anybody.
say so. Before the season, Bet Bodkin asked me, "What do you think about JF Marquis as quarterback?" And I said, "I couldn't think of a guy to better suit your team, in that he's gonna only get better. Like this is his first season throwing as high as Division C.
Yep.
So he has the raw talent to do it, and now he's learning to play at this level.
I'm not saying, but the team. Listen, so they have 4 wins. They played Lights Out, who was 1-3, only scored 69 points.
Yes.
They played Dirty Dogs, which is not a pushover, but we both I wouldn't put Dirty Dogs in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2-2. They scored 105 points. Backyard Bullies, they almost lost that game. 2-2, 119 points, which is good.
I don't think they beat them second
And
time.
Friends in Low Places, 101 point, 1-3. So all the teams that they played against, Backyard Bullies was a close game, but the other three teams are not playoff teams in my opinion at the moment. So Commission didn't really beat anybody to be deserving.
Well,
the number
they'll
one
play
spot.
Blue Chips and Jagerbomb in 2 weeks' time. Week 7,
that's going to be
week
good
8.
games.
Yeah, which would be a great test for
But
them.
we'll see if they lose by 20 points to both these teams.
But it's their offense I'm worried about. Their defense, they are hyping up their defense as being the
Yeah, but they-
great wall of China
they also
here.
just lost one of their best players.
And Don Benevento, who could be back for the playoffs from...
I don't think so.
He says
thinks so.
realistically he could be back. No
We'll
guarantee that he would be back for that.
It's I don't know if even if he's physically okay, I don't know if he'll be comfortable to.
He'll be in game shape. That's the problem.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he feel like he'll be able to contribute.
We'll see.
Well, speaking of contributions, coming up next from my top seasons, and Thomas.
I'm gonna ask you about that.
yeah, for sure.
Stay tuned.
I have today's guests on the Sportira guest line are brought to you by Sportira, the official suppliers of FPF uniforms and jerseys, as well as the home to the Sportira cage. Are you not getting your stats because your jersey is so beat up that the scorekeeper can't read your number? Don't be that guy on the Flag Plus football wall. We all know who you are. And get yourself or your team a fresh new look today by emailing info@sportira.com for quotes and details.
Hello?
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Andel. How you doing today, sir?
Good and you?
Hey,
I am
Andel.
well.
What's up,
Andel,
Simon?
What's up, man?
Listen.
Tease, GM, Eagle,
What's up,
and
man?
all.
So this is going to be the highest rated segment in LaSalle history, Texas's history. Dollar right now is very quiet as everyone's in their homes listening to this segment or watching it.
Or
on
behind
their-
Endo.
Or behind Andel for sure.
No, everyone's working.
So, Andel, let me ask you a question. The one player on your roster on top season that looks good, feels good, but does not play good is who?
Feels good?
Yeah.
All right.
The one person that looks good, feels good, but doesn't play good,
Yes.
that person's not on our roster.
Okay.
Hey.
Nice. I like it. I have a couple of questions, both about Mokan and
My top
No.
season, by the way.
sorry.
My top season.
Yeah. First thing was, how was it like to be part of the Mokan quarterback experience?
You caught the game-winning
That's
touchdown,
big.
Andel.
Which game did you win?
Well, that's the
Alright,
year
cool.
that Mo broke his finger, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was oh man. Montreal's junior
24.8%.
finance was a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank God he retired after that.
The other thing is,
I think it's
Nice.
Andel's answer the question for my first question.
also, Andel, so like you've been listening to the podcast like essentially since as long as I've known you. So you
What is
you
it, 20
obviously
years?
remember Mokan's initial criticism of the top season.
Oh, for
Do you
sure.
think-
Everybody does.
So do you guys like forget about it now that he calls you guys like his team, or do you guys like still have that chip on your shoulder of like who does Mokan think he is?
Top season, whatever him and Terry Tam used to say on the podcast, they don't rate
Terry
Mo.
Tam,
He has to
actually.
come with that same energy. He can't just hop on the bandwagon because we're doing well now.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, well,
Exactly.
here's the thing, though, Andel, right? What has been the difference for you guys now compared to when, let's call it for what it is, you guys did struggle as this franchise when you guys came into this league a couple years ago?
Well, now we got a consistent quarterback. I think it's like the first year we have the same quarterback back-to-back seasons. So now he already knows the receivers. He's already comfortable with them. So there's no getting to know them, what they could do, what they can't do. Jared knows what everyone could do. So he's just going to ball out from here on out.
I think it's also like the Mokan thing is like he always said Montreal's finest is never quite as good because like when he
Well,
was
this team's
rushing he
good,
thinks
man.
it was the best Montreal's
The
finest.
weakest
So
roster
he's like
since.
top season, and they need a quarterback, but he was like trying to say like when I was quarterback, these guys
It's
were
not
good.
Joe Theismann over here.
Yeah,
okay?
so like I get it. I see what happened. But honestly, I've always been of the opinion, just having watched you guys play early on, not having change, like rotating cast of quarterbacks didn't help you guys. But now having Jared Taylor, how do you think, like, what's a concrete way he helped you guys improve early on?
Well, he come. Well, that's tough.
Did
Well,
you-
he's
did you
there
help him,
most
or-
games.
Mm-hmm.
No. Jared could throw. Jared's a baseball player, and he threw back in La Salle when we were younger, and he has chemistry with the guys, and he has a I don't give up attitude about everything. So he just goes out and balls out. He's a competitor.
Is he better baseball player or football player?
Jared's just a great athlete.
We have
He's just
we have
a
a
guy.
write-in right now.
Oh, we have a question for you, Andel.
It's a write-in. It's not a question.
Right in, yes.
It's from Hassani.
Hassani, the Bayesian sensation, yes.
He said GM of the year, but I don't know if he's talking about Andel or myself.
GM, you're always the GM.
I
of the
think
year.
he's talking about you, GM.
You're always the most George Michael.
The George Michael.
Andel, what do you believe you guys have the edge on teams? Is it your speed? Is it the intimidation factor of what you have across the board, whether it's Justin Edwards to Khalil Kerr to you to the Bayesian sensation and Hassani Royal? What's the edge for you guys?
The receiving core. The receiving core is like top notch in the division, I believe, because any of those guys from Benny, Kevin, Hassani, Justine, Khalil, to any of those guys could be number 1, number 2 guys on any other team, and they make it very easy for Jared to make plays because he can literally throw to any of those guys and they're gonna make a big play.
So I looked up Bayesian, and it automatically autocorrected to Belgian. So I think you're full of shit, Bokan.
No, Hassani knows what I'm talking about. Bayesian
Yeah,
sensation.
Bayesian sensation is a thing.
Yes, he knows what's up.
So,
You're part of the crew here, top season, brother.
Andel, your team is second best offense in division with 152 points scored. It's pretty good
Yeah.
after 4 weeks. Seventh
I
worst
think
defense, though. What's up with that?
Well, okay. To answer your first part, 2 games we didn't have our quarterback. And I think in those 2 games we didn't have our quarterback. We scored about 30 points, but 14 completed passes and around so. And the reason why we give up so much points is because our time of possession in a game is very low. Like we score very quickly. Like if you get like multiple opportunities with the ball in your hand, I expect the other team to score 32 points when you have the ball in your hand for so long and so many times, because we literally score in like 2-3 plays and then boom, it's your turn. You get the ball.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Andel, this week your team put up 27 points, the lowest thus far, and your first loss. You have friends in low places, Les Montagnards, Jägerbomb, Braves, you, Lights Out, and I'm going to let you finish on your schedule.
Hey.
tough
You
team.
see more losses coming up in your future?
I'm going to let you finish as Simon's team.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, I get a pick.
Hey.
He's like Oprah, picks for everyone.
I don't. We're going to take it week by week, but I'm happy we got the loss out now. We can move forward. Everyone's going to recalibrate. We'll come back next week against friends in low places and go back to doing what we do.
Battle LaSalle. What team worries you on your side of the bracket? Is it Jägerbomb, Commission, Blue Chip, Strangers, or anyone else?
I'm not worried about it. Any other team.
So are you guys believe this could very well be an easy road to the Div C finals on August 5th?
I'm not going to say easy road because any given Sunday, anybody could beat anyone. It happens all the time, like it happened this week. So I'm not going to say easy road, but I like our chances.
And last week you were supposed to be on the podcast, but unfortunately you couldn't join us because you were watching your sister play soccer. So first of all, brother of the year. Second of all, how quickly are you going to get her to drop soccer and move on to co-ed FPF?
I tried.
You tried? All right, you're fighting a good fight, man. That's what matters.
I tried. She doesn't want to.
And before I let you go, if you are in a street fight, who are you taking who are you taking as backup? Hassani Royal or Justine Edwards?
Justine.
Justine.
Sorry, Asani.
Jesus.
Justine, man.
That's right. Put your name in there.
The guy is like a flesh Terminator.
Yeah.
Nice. I can see that.
Hassani's up there, but Justine's just a different animal, but same beast.
And who do you take, Mokan or Asani?
Oh, Hassani, all day.
There you go.
Well, Hassani would take me to be part of his backup. Yes, Eagle.
Hey, Andel, I know you won Coach of the Year for some work you're doing from coaching. So when are you going to bring those talents to FPF Junior?
Put him
I
on
don't
the
know.
spot right here.
That's basketball. This is flag football. I'm still learning. So when I feel like I have enough knowledge, then I'll pass it on to the youth.
I'll call you up in winter.
More likely to happen you coaching FPF or LeBron joining the Lakers since you are a Laker fan?
Oh my God. Me coaching the FPF junior.
Oh, really? You don't
Really?
think LeBron's going to the Lakers?
He's not.
He's not.
No, I don't want him on the Lakers. He doesn't make anyone better.
He makes everyone better. Look at
Can you
Cleveland.
name me one player he made better?
Anyone on the Cavs roster who doesn't deserve to be in the NBA.
Oh my God.
Vitaly
That's who.
Potapenko. Zajunas Ilgauskas. I know, before I let you go, fill in the blank here. Top season will win Diffsy because of what?
There's too many options.
Mo doesn't understand how blanks work.
Yeah, there's too many options. I could say any of these 10 guys on the roster. Our offense, our defense when it gets clicking, it's dangerous. Our rushing. I'm gonna show some love to Benny. I'm gonna say Benny McMahon or Kevin Dunnett. That's
All
what
right.
I was exactly
Two of my favorite players in FPF, by the way. I love those dudes.
The
No one works
5',
harder than
the
those two
5'7"
guys.
guys, and they're quick as hell.
Yeah.
Benny's not
Yep.
5'7".
Ben, not 5'7".
What is he? Is he 5'6"? Del?
If he's wearing heels, he's 5'7".
If you're in front of him, he looks 6 feet because you'll be on the floor because he breaks ankles for days.
But if you're
So-
next to him on the sidelines,
But it depends. Are you the one whose ankles
Alright,
are
I'm gonna
broken
say-
and you're in a wheelchair?
True.
So
No, I'm gonna
It's
say
like when the
same
Great
height.
Khali fought Rey Mysterio Jr. Huh?
whatever you say, Mo.
And thanks so much, my man.
thanks, buddy.
No
Top
problem.
season all the way, brother.
Get a new set of gloves.
Oh, no.
I'm tired of clipping you missing flags.
Oh my God, those red flags need to be. I don't know. There's something about those red flags.
they're amazing.
Any-
I love my red flags. I get so many acts for no reason. They're magic.
And have a great weekend.
buddy.
Good luck this week.
You too, guys.
Be good, brother.
Thanks.
So in my search, I found the next thing that came up was Belgian criminals.
Eee.
So the first one, though, Nordine Ben Alal
Okay.
was a notable criminal for something called multiple escapes.
All right, so,
But why was she originally arrested?
all right.
Because she escaped custody.
As we go through the
Escape.
history of nothing here, what Bayesian sensation means,
Yeah, go on.
Hassan Royal is from Barbados,
Mhm.
and they call him Bajans.
Yeah.
So the play on words is Bayesian sensation.
So the next notable Belgian criminal was Kim de Gelder, who murdered several babies in a baby care center.
Okay, he is nowhere linked to these people.
This
in
is,
terms
I'm
of
just saying,
nicknames.
this is the history
He is
of
the
Belgium.
Bayesian
I never knew Belgium
sensation,
was
Hassan
such a
Royal.
So-
such a terrifying country. I never want to go there.
So Asani, no.
He's a Bayesian sensation.
so Asani is to Barbados what your
What Kim de
your
Gelder
boy,
is.
your boy Bakalani is to Hawaii.
No, he's Brazilian.
Brazilian, sorry.
The Mapanguare.
So
Again.
what's in Barbados? Figure it out.
Fly fish.
I'm on this thing already.
Fly
I'm
fish.
already sidetracked.
Did you say fly fish?
Yeah, fly fish is their
Nutrients.
Bert
national food.
Eriksson was the head of the extreme right organization Vietnamese Militant Orde, convicted for founding a private
go.
army.
You go mute him. Just mute Peeze.
All right, stumbling down, guys. Quickly here before we get to picks of the week here. Keyport Lock, Montagnard, Philp, Brocasian, big win, Moist included. They've all faulted out of the gates here. Who needs a big win this week?
Who needs a big win, everybody?
If
Who's
you
gonna
pick one
get it?
team.
Who needs a big win? Moist, Montagnard, Philp. But who was most likely to get it and benefit from it? Brocasian. If Brocasian can get on the roll and start winning 1 or 2 games and go back to, let's say, 500 at 3-3, they could become a dark horse team.
All right, receivers. Here we go. Peasy's
I'm back.
top 10 receivers. We were going to do 3 because he's going to miss it next week, and we missed the last
No, but I
two.
missed 2.
Yeah,
already.
you have to do 9, 8, and 7.
All
I
right,
have
here we
my
go.
hands
Drum
up.
roll, please, for number 9.
My number 9 receiver,
Is
Alexi Gomo. Tall, rangy,
Yeah.
great in
Fast.
a variety of different ways.
number 8. Drum roll, please.
My number 8 receiver,
Is
AJ Gomez.
oh my god!
nice.
Oh my god! He's not going to be happy about
Well,
that.
I'll tell you what, all the talent in the world, the talent to be the number 1 receiver, guys gotta just chill. Like, take it down to like from 11 to like 9.
All right, he's going to be pissed about that.
Yeah, he's
Number
pissed anyway,
7.
so-
Drum roll, please.
This is surprising. My number 7 receiver, Dave Chidiat.
Oh.
Dave Chidiat, very good, very fast, great downfield.
If he's 7,
Imagine. There's some good receivers in this team.
yeah, seriously.
Vinny Galano's 10 and he's got 14 touchdowns. I regretted that so much.
Yeah,
He's like doing it on purpose. At this point.
Instantly make you look bad.
I know. That's not a move.
Yes.
All right, it is
We
now
don't boo on the show. We move. There we go.
It's time for games of the week as GM will slowly but surely finish off his Reese peanut butter cups. Let's go with the games of the week.
Let's start with Backyard bullies against bearskins.
Give me the skins.
Bullies.
Vinny Guadano's gonna make the bullies look bad.
I will not give you the skins. I will take bullies.
Game changers Vikings.
Both teams are terrible. Give me a tie.
Give me the quarterback. So game
yeah.
changers.
No, game changers, man. They're better than the people think they are.
And Mo thinks they already. In any case.
Did you just say give me the tie?
Give me
He
a tie.
did. Give me
me the tie.
Brocasian against
Double
Keeper Lock.
forfeit.
So what against who?
Sorry,
Eagles talking.
Brocasian, Keeper Lock.
Vocation.
La vocation.
I can't imagine Rose has such a
Another
terrible
bad
game
week?
again. So give me keyboard lock because they gotta get something positive going.
Vocation.
Vocation.
All right.
It's a vocation. Yeah, there's only one.
That is it for the week,
I think so.
boys and girls. Peeze won't be here. Neither will Simon.
Hey.
So you guys are both missing next week?
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
Peace might be here.
I might be here,
I'm
depending on when
officially
flight
not.
comes back.
So we'll have to replace Simon next week.
2-2 in Game 5, and the second period, Capitals, Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the time this podcast people watch on Saturday, it might be all over.
We got live viewers.
Okay.
We're competing with their ratings.
You said
Yeah.
We're
you
clearly
said
winning.
Yeah.
you
It's
said
the NHL, they don't have ratings.
Yeah.
you said viewers.
Not a
Nice.
viewers.
And
Hey, Rob.
Mina Khan.
Hey,
Enjoy Jamaica, Simon.
Thanks.
No final words? Because I was gonna say Hippolyte Vizard de Beaucamp.
Mute him.
He's a nobleman who poisoned his brother-in-law with
Mute
nicotine. Poisoned his brother-in-law with nicotine. How many cigarettes you gonna smoke to be poisoned by nicotine?
Unless you take
Isn't it just killing someone by lung cancer?
unless you take the nicotine out and just feed him straight nicotine.
Yeah, that sounds awful. It's a terrible diet.